A little bit. And I think with your angle of attack that's quite shallow anyway with a driver, hitting the ground isn't the worst thing. But I think sometimes people get so hung up on, I've got to keep my head down and try and get low. Your angle of attack's going to reach the ground anyway.
I've been hitting the ground a bit.
Or coming down as steep, exactly. Oh yeah, the massive, exactly. So it disappears over your left shoulder, okay. But if we just look at these two setups, setup-wise, pretty much the same, okay. What we're trying to sort of discuss now is really the impact conditions. So if we look at the impact on this left-hand one here now, striking that ball, you can see the ball now. You're kind of like over the ball quite a lot. That left arm sort of pulling away.
As well again.
This was the before one again. I wouldn't say gone back too far. The length of backswing was fine, but there's your club here now. This is obviously a short swing in general, okay? But if we look at the impact condition here with the golf ball, see how the club now and the ball are kind of going in a similar sort of line. So the more we can bring that down, okay, in terms of the club and the ball need to be. Think of it this way: if I was going to punch a ball, for example, it'd have a much more direct hit if I was sort of punching a ball on a table and doing that, than if I sort of punched the ball and went down into the ground this way, and the effort's going down, the ball's going to pop up kind of thing, and there's an angle on my hands or something. Just making sure that we're getting the club and the ball. But you can see as you're in this golf ball here now, the club is striking more from the middle. And if you look at that position there in terms of how you are
behind the ball.
Exactly, you're behind the ball, hitting more up on the ball. Now what that will cause is, because you fought slicing to the right all the time, you try to hit it left by doing this, as you can see on the left hand side, and now kind of sort of this lean forward, this shoulder sort of coming over the top and trying to kind of please don't go right kind of thing. And once you create that motion, unfortunately, it just sends it even higher right. You get more spin on the ball. The dispersion between the club direction and the ball direction coming off the face gets bigger. So you lose power, it goes off to the right higher. Then you send the ball harder, that gap then gets bigger, and the ball then gets more spins. It's a vicious circle. So what we're trying to do, as you said, get more behind the golf ball. Now, because you fought hitting the ball right, there's always been a mechanism to try and just as far left as you can. When you then stay behind the golf ball, first couple did go a bit left. The first one was a real quick hook, which is fine, but it started getting the ball to the left. Once you then start seeing a golf ball, if that's kind of your target line, going more in that direction as opposed to that direction, then you'll have more confidence. Okay, well, I can now start it kind of this way to target, because I'm not going to be fearful of going, oh God, it's going to slice. So the information, therefore, we're going to give the golf ball.
I'll hit some straight ones, but not enough that it just comes back in.
Exactly, exactly.
It's just a dangerous game to play.
And that's the problem. When you get on the golf course, if your path, as I say, if you're starting on 18 now, I think the fourth at Wembo, for example, there's a load of rubbish on the right-hand side, you go in there, you lose your goal ball, the fifth or whatever. So you're going to stand there with driving, okay, right, and you'll get to there, and your brain kind of becomes aware of what's out there and goes, well, I don't want to go to the right in that rubbish, so I'll just hit it somewhere left. And what happens is, unfortunately, you start to either smother it low left, or that big high one you said, or you get some club face on the ball, because you're coming down to steep, it spins off, exactly, goes in the woods off. But you can just those impact conditions there quite clearly. If you look at the line, that's behind the golf ball there, and the club now and the ball are in that direction, where that now is a bit more sort of on top of the ball. You look a bit more sort of hunched and shrugged down, the ball's going up and the club's still going very low. So you're just driving the club too low and the ball then pops up. It's not a very efficient way, which is why when you look at someone you're like, sort of 6'4", 6'5", big strong shoulders and big muscles and stuff, it's going like 160. Hang on, it should go at least 220, 230. And there are guys you might, Oddie for example, he's a lot smaller stature in terms of physique and stuff. He's in the ball further than you probably, isn't he? Just because of the efficiency of how he's hitting the golf ball, and that's just him playing more golf and stuff. But once you start feeling in your head, what does that sort of impact condition feel like? Keeping yourself behind the ball. Ball's in a T-peg. You want to be hitting more on the way up, and the more up you hit it, the more distance we're going to be able to create, because the club and the ball are going in the same direction. The more down on the ball you hit, okay, the more spin you get. Now with a drive with not much loft, it's going to get more side spin. With an iron, the more down, the straighter it goes. But with an iron, you're looking for accuracy. You're not looking for distance. If a 7-iron wants to go further, it's 6-iron. That's the maximum club. You can't go any harder or change it. It's got to go as far as it can. Okay, so
well, I got a hybrid, and I find it quite nice to use, and I can hit that.
Exactly. Because what you'll find is there's a tipping point where you get enough loft in your hand, and by coming down a little bit steep, you de-loft it, okay? Plus the hybrid's not teed up on the tee as much, is it? So there's not that ability to go under. It's off the ground. You can drive it low, and it goes, let's say, about 170, 180. Then you get the club that should, in theory, go 50 yards further. It's going less, if not the... So how's that working?
Exactly.
But yeah, so we can get in that spine and have a few practice swings. Just keep yourself behind the ball. Try to avoid this sort of lateral move. I think that generally comes from you in an attempt to try and get power. Get way back here and try, and smother it as hard as you can. Okay, so you sort of stay more behind it on the way back. They're more of an upward swing. There's more of a swish with your arms up, and then once you get the comfortable that you're hitting the ball straight or left, then you can start swinging a bit what feels more to the right target. So, make sense?
Yeah.
Good man.